Hello there, welcome back to part 2. In this video we're going to look at we're going to do with those charts and what they have to do with graphs. And we're going to just dive right into things here. And to begin with, when we graph by plotting pairs, here's the expectation. Okay, expectation. I'll just say it. Here's what I expect. All right, 4 points. Okay, you have to have at least one negative, at least one positive value. You should pick 0 and then pick 1. All right, so at least one negative value, at least one positive number. Always use 0, see what that is, and then pick a value. There are times later when that might not work out quite so conveniently, but for now, let's make that the expectation, please. So what we're going to do is we are now going to pick 4 points. We're going to do the chart just like we did in the last video, but we're going to add a column XY here, kind of like I think I did at the start of the first video. So we're going to have a third column here that'll just make our graphing a little bit easier for us. So let's pick some values for X here. I went ahead and picked some for you. I'll start with -3. So this means I'm going to put -3 in there, so -3 minus 1. We're going to figure that out. Boom, boom, that's -4. So that is the order pair -3, -4. Let's pick another one. I picked, what did I pick next? -1. I picked another -1. -1 minus 1, boom, boom, that's -2. So we have the order pair -1, -2. Pick 0. We always love 0. 0 minus 1 is -1. 0, -1 is the point. And then, what did I pick lastly? I picked 1. So we have 1 minus 1, which makes it really interesting. That's the other intercept. That's 1, 0. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to plot those points on the grid. All right, so let's plot -3, -4. So go from the origin, -3, 1, 2, 3, down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Plot -1, -2. Goes right there. Plot 0, -1, which is right there. And then 1, 0. Now again, we could have picked other values for X, and these points should have remained in the same pattern. Here's what you need to do now. Here's the other expectation, is that when you draw these lines, when we do linear equations, you use a straight edge. And I can tell, and I will take off a point. If I'm testing you or something, and you don't do that, I would take off a point because it's not asking too much. Grab a straight edge. Now I can cheat because I have the smart stuff. Take a straight edge and connect that line. Try to make the line look neat and skinny. Please use a sharp edge and put arrows on the end. You do need to have the arrows. In the past, I have taken off points because I get picky about these. The arrow suggests that these values continue forever and ever. And the points should also be a little bigger than mine, so I'm going to go back over where my points were. And we can see that those points do indeed line up into a straight line. So this particular line represents the values of y equals x minus 1. Also, I'd like you to write that equation on the line. So these are all the combinations of x and the outcomes of y based on those values of x. Now there's an infinite number of them. We could have decimal values if you put decimals in there. So the reason we have to have these arrows on the end is to show that what if x is 100? That would be way down here and way up here, and it would still end up on that line if we did that. And that's what's happening here. Let's look at number 9. It's pretty simple to do. It is a little bit of work because you have to find 4 points. But what you're going to do in algebra next year is all kinds of really crazy analysis of these particular equations. So we are just starting with the easy part here, plotting them by making charts. So go ahead. Let me give you 3 values: -2, -1, 0, and 2. Now when you're doing this for homework, you will make those up, and you want to pick points that will fit on the grid, and I'll help you learn how to do that as you see them. Why don't you hit pause here and see, can you fill out the Y column and the order pair column, and I'll be right back with those. So please hit pause now. And welcome back. There is the chart completed. The values that you should have come up with is, you start by checking quickly with that column right there. Should have had -6, -3, 0, and 6. So that gave us these order pairs. -2, -6, -1, -3, 0, 0, 2, 6. If you haven't plotted them yet, please go ahead and do that. And then again, with the straight edge, grab your straight edge, hit pause if you need to plot those, and then grab the straight edge, and with one movement of your pencil, draw that line, and you're going to see, if you set your ruler up well, those lines actually do set up in a line. They create a line for you, put arrows on the end, and then on the equation, please write y equals 3x. So that line represents the equation 3x, which is also represented in the chart. Now let me point out what's happening here. We now have three representations of a function: an equation, a chart, and a graph, all of which can represent a function, which is combinations of ordered pairs that make an equation true. You can see it visually here or in a table or equation there for you. Okay, I am going to do number 10 and 11, and I'll tell you what I'll do is let's look at those. For number 10, here's what I think I'll do. I will set this up for you, 2x plus 4, and that's y. I'm going for this one, I'm going to pick -2, -1, 0, and 2. And then for this one, now you're going to have to solve this for y. I'll help you with that. It's -x. So when you subtract, because you're subtracting that, you're trying to get rid of that. So what you have now is you have y equals -x plus 6. You have x in this column. And over here you have y. And for that one, I picked -2, 0, 2, and 4. And you can try this one, but I will tell you, you got something really tricky happening with that -x. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit pause. I'm going to fill out this chart and show you the line. And then I will start this problem with you after that. Okay, so let's do that first. Fill out this chart and graph that line and see what you come up with. And I'll be right back. Okay, here you have it. First thing you need to check, does that column match the values I have? That's -2, 0, -1, 2, 0, 4, 2, 8. If so, if you plotted them, you should have gotten this line that looks this way. And again, don't forget to write the equation on the line right there. So that's another linear equation for you. And then one more here, number 11. I'm going to start this one with you and show you, you have to be really careful with number 11. If you don't understand number 10, I know I went kind of fast there with the pause. Hit pause and look it over and speak up with a question if you have it. Moving on to number 11, if x is -2, notice that y is equal to -x plus 6. So you have this negative sign here. And then you have -2. So it's like you have -2 plus 6. And you think about that, -2 is actually +2 plus 6. So that is actually the value 8. All right, if you plug in 0 there, you have 6. If you plug in 2, you have negative from that sign, -2 plus 6, which is 4. And then if you did the same thing with 4, you have -4 plus 6, which is actually 2. So there's your ordered pairs. Let's plot them real fast. -2, 8. There's -2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0, 6 is right there. 2, 4 is right there. Here we go. And 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Right there. There it is. Grab your straight edge and connect those dots. Make that line. And here's one thing about the lines. When you graph a linear equation, your line should look to fit on the entire graph without going off of the graph. So don't make your line so short that it stops at your points. Please extend it like edge to edge so it looks, excuse me, it looks proportionally appropriate to that particular graph. All right, oh, and I forgot one thing. Do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to write the equation on the line. This line represents y equals -x plus 6 right there. And there you have it. So bring your straight edge and your sharp pencils and your notes for the next time I see you, and we will start charting and graphing some graphs. See you soon.